Hey guys, Christina here, and today I have a review for you of the Epson Eco Tank, specifically the 2750 model. If you're new here, we are a homeschooling family with 5 children, currently between the ages of 6 and 14 in the Canadian Maritimes. If you are returning, thanks for coming back. So I've had this Eco Tank printer for over 3.5 years, and I'm gonna share some timeline and statistics with you. I think first I'll start by just showing you the features of the printer, and then I'll share that information with you and why we're actually not using it right now, which might surprise you. So let's have a look at that printer. So here's what the printer looks like. I apologize, it's not the best lighting, just the time of day, and this is when I can film. So this one is a photocopier and scanner. It is also a double-sided printer. So you pull this out right here. This is where the paper will print. This display part does come up like this as well. In the back here is where you would put your paper, like this. This is where the ink goes, and this is what makes it so different than other printers, is that the ink is in bottles that you refill as opposed to buying like an ink cartridge. And so it has the standard 4 colors, and you can see how full they are there. Let me show you in the back here. So this is where the plug goes. There is a place for a USB here. I think it did come with a wire, but it's been a while. Let me show you this, because you need to know this. If paper gets jammed and you can't see it from the front, often it's back here. And so that's how you just take that out. This is both, of course, with those colors, a color and a black and white printer. There's the menu here. Now, I don't have it on right now because it's actually not printing. And I'll share more in a minute about that. There's the SD card slot here. And then over here, I actually have the piece on here taken off right now. So this piece goes like this, and it screws in. The reason I have it off is because this comes out. This is the maintenance, what do they call it? Maintenance box. I did not know that this existed in my printer. In here, there's padding, and the padding collects extra ink as it's printing. So when you pick this up, it's quite heavy. What's happened is mine is full, and so my printer will not print any longer because this is full. Now, it's past the warranty. I've had it 3.5+ years, so it's past the warranty. And this particular piece is not made by Epson any longer. There are a few options. Someone shared with me a link for the piece to buy it through the US Amazon to replace this. It was going to be, I think, about a week and a half, and maybe about $40, but it only had about 50% that it worked for people, because you also have to reset the printer. Otherwise, doing that won't do anything. So that was one option. Buying it through Canadian Amazon was, I think it was $60, or maybe it was $80, and it was going to take over a month to get here. And again, no guarantee it would work. There is a company I saw, I think in the UK, that sells just the pads. It's quite a messy job to do this. And then they sell you a reset key as well. So the reason I mention this is because I did not know this existed, and this is going to change how I'm going to go forward using these printers. But I have used this printer for many years. So the printer was first used on January the 9th, 2019. It's stopped printing on September 14th, 2022. 3 years, 8 months, 5 days. Over 15,000 pages printed. We print a lot. The ink, the first batch lasted me 26 months for the black. And the colors, I started to have to refill them around 28 months. This is a maintenance sheet. This is what happens when you do the print head check, and if there's little ones missing, you need to clean your print heads, and then it prints again and you check it. Now, if you notice, our ink is almost full. I was not expecting that maintenance box to die and not to have an option to replace it. So that has been disappointing. We did go ahead and buy another one. I'm giving it a try, a different model. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do differently this time. So overall, I do like the Eco Tank printers. They save so much on ink cartridges. I mean, it's about $80 for a refill of the actual Epson ink for the machine. That's like the black and the colors through like Costco. And if you're only doing that like once a year or so, it's extremely cheap. The machines are a little pricey to begin with. It kind of depends which model you choose, but I feel like it has been worth it for us. The printing speed, it's not the fastest. And I mean, it depends because it prints through the internet, right? It depends how fast your internet is, which we don't have the fastest internet, and that might be why it kind of prints really slowly sometimes. Scanning anything is a huge hassle if you're trying to scan more than just a couple pages, because you're literally putting it on, flipping it over, next page, next page. Like, I've spent hours scanning things, excuse me, that I wish I had it. So, like I said, we did get another model, and it has a feeder from the top. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for us. We might need one that has even a larger space for the feeder on the top, but we're going to give it a try. The other thing with this one is we did find sometimes it would, like there would be ink splatter on it. I don't really know why, and we have had some issues with that. So, but I would say that's not too often. It's more towards the end of its life, which maybe has something to do with that maintenance box being filled. Which here's my pet peeve with this. There's no mention of this maintenance box when you buy these printers. So to me, the printers I've had before, like you just keep putting new cartridges in and they work, right? Like for years and years and years. So I was honestly pretty disappointed when this happened. And I didn't find Epson too helpful. So when I decide which model we're going to be keeping and using for the future, I think I'm going to go ahead and buy a maintenance box while they're still producing it, because I think that's where the issue is, that my model's just too old. They're not making that part anymore. I may buy one and just hang on to it to like double the lifespan of what it is right now. I've seen some videos where you can take like the inside of that out and clean it off or put new ones, but my model doesn't have that gauze in there. There's like they're like pads, they're different. So that's one thing I would say is pay attention to which model you're buying and that piece in the back, and be prepared to replace it if you want your machine to last as long as possible. Otherwise, it's worked pretty well. I'm trying to think, like, I mean, I've used it for scanning, for photocopying, tons and tons of printing. I've used it from printing from 2 different computers, I think, from phone, which makes it very user-friendly that way. It takes a little bit to set it up. I did find with the one we just purchased, it doesn't have the range of Wi-Fi like this one, the 2750 did. I've actually had to move our printer because our internet wasn't strong enough to get to our new printer, even though it worked for this one. So that's interesting. If you have poor internet, or you like have your router in a corner in your house, you may want to consider that. But overall, if you're a homeschooler especially, it's gonna save you so much money on printing. Just the ink costs alone, like, so much money. So hopefully I've explained kind of the features of it, how it works in general. Everyone has, or each model has like different features on it, but they're all pretty much the same in how they work in terms of the ink coming in bottles, having those features like scan and print and all that. But yeah, if I've missed something, leave it down in the comment section down below, your question. I always try and answer whatever I can. Let me know if you have an Eco Tank printer, how long you've had it for, and which model you have, and is there anything about it that maybe you don't like about it? I'd love to know your version or your thoughts on the model you have. Otherwise though, I hope that this, as always, finds you having a great day. Take care.